Sounds
That
so.
great voice. Yeah.
So okay. So first of all, is it Caroline, Carolyn? What
Caroline.
Caroline? Okay, so Caroline
Mhm.
Woodall Tysinger. That's what, or is it just go by Caroline Tysinger these days?
Yeah, I just go by Caroline Tysinger. Most of the reason I put like the Woodall in there is because like that's how most people know me that knew me before I was fundraising. And so they would be confused if a Caroline Tysinger emailed them. They'd be like, "Why? Who is this person?"
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Because so that's been pretty recent. How long ago did you all get married then?
A year ago now. So our anniversary is on June 14th, which
Oh
is
man,
crazy. Yeah.
right
I'm
around the corner.
hmm
Holy cow. So what, a week from Sunday. Very
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
congratulations. That's amazing.
Thanks.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
okay, so Caroline Tysinger.
Mhm.
So obviously we are connected with you in a couple of different ways. Obviously, now your husband is the son of our elder, right?
Mhm.
Alan. Okay. Um,
Mhm.
well, I'm going to back us way up just to find out more about you, and just
Yeah.
so tell me a little bit about your faith journey. What
Yeah.
got you? I mean, how did you come to Christ, and what does that look like? And then once we kind of get through there, maybe we'll go a little further and we'll get you into where you are currently. But just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Yes, no. So I grew up in Dallas, Texas. And we like kind of like we were involved in a PCA church there. But like for a really long time growing up, it was part of my life, like my faith and not my whole life. And I had a lot of like mental health struggles in high school and then like through that ended up being like, okay, I need something that's stable outside myself. And then in that found Jesus and was like, okay, he is stable outside myself. And like if everything changes for me internally, and everything gets crazy externally, like he will be the same. And then I think I like just continued like in my faith, like testing if that was true, like for the rest of high school and through college and really enjoyed like the part of enjoyed learning what ministry looks like and being like, whoa, this is like walking alongside people that are like me, like that struggle with things and like watching them slowly realize that like Jesus is the person that like is the answer, like even if we can't gain stability like inside of ourselves, there is stability in him. And I just really loved that. Like I helped with youth group a lot. I went to Texas A&M, and that's how I met Dylan, Tysinger. And we started dating there, and got married. And then he decided he wanted to go to grad school at Michigan. And I was pretty sure we had been pretty involved in RUF during undergrad, and it had a huge impact on me. Like the people I met, I feel like made God more real to me, which was really cool. Part of being in that community, like the local church there and RUF. And so, yeah, that's how I decided that I wanted to do RUF because I was like, if I can like keep doing what I've been doing, like, and just watching people, like watching God be at work in people's lives and seeing them come to realization, that would be a great 2 years well spent, if it was only 2 years. And so I think I really have enjoyed, like, I feel like it's held true the first year of the RUF internship to what I thought it would like allow me to do, like looking into people's lives and getting to see how God is at work and enjoy watching like the epiphany moments for people and like walking with them when they don't have the epiphany moments or when the epiphany moments are harder. So it's like my summary.
Yeah, for sure. So you've spent 1 year at University of Michigan, which, by the way, can you remind us exactly where that is?
Yes, yeah. So that's in like East Michigan is what they would say. So like everyone pulls out the hand. It's right here on the hand.
Got you.
And it's in Ann Arbor.
Ann
So
Arbor. Okay.
mhm,
Very cool. All right.
mhm.
So you're an intern. So and you're an intern. Well, first of all, I think we do help support a few RUF ministries, but for anybody, maybe this is their first time hearing about RUF, just tell us a bit about what RUF is, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, not at all. So RUF is Reformed University Fellowship. We're the branch of like what I hear people call it is the food truck of the local church, like the PCA, because we're
Okay.
like trying to like bring like what like the local church is to campus and like
Okay.
connect students to the local church. That's how we think of ourselves, which differentiates us from some of the other like campus ministry strategies.
Yeah.
And like the connection to the local church is a huge part of RUF. And yeah, so we're usually one of the only reformed theologically ministries on campus. Primarily like day-to-day ministry looks a lot like one-on-ones for a lot of the staff. There's other things going on too, but that's like our main avenue of ministering to students. Like we do outreach to bring them in and then like get coffee with them and like talk about like, oh, what's your faith background? All those kinds of questions. And another huge emphasis of RUF is ministry to students through students. And so a lot of it is like we reach a student, we equip them to serve, and then we're like, okay, trying to work ourselves out of a job so that like students will minister to one another in the same way that like we're trying to give them like a category for how to minister to one another by the way that we minister to them. So it's yeah, that's kind of like RUF and the general emphases that it has.
Very cool. And so tell
Mhm.
us about a little bit about the history of RUF there specifically in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, so this is a pretty young RUF, but it's big for being the amount of years young. It started in 2020, so it's about 6 years old now. And we are like, there's not a lot of northern RUFs, so our
Okay.
area is pretty small. RUF is very southern, like generally. So it's cool to see like this RUF is kind of different. Like Michigan's kind of like SEC-esque, even though they're in the Big Ten, like very football school, as I think
Yeah.
most people know, big basketball school,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
national championships. And like very like Greek heavy, but it's
Okay.
also like northern. So it's a lot of like northern, like very direct communication style culture. And yeah, our campus minister has been there he's the one who started it and he's still here. It's his 6th year. Him and his family moved here. Yeah, and during COVID-19, I think was their first year here. He tells me about it and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's actually sounds terrible."
Yeah.
Because he was like calling students like the second
Yeah.
semester and like, "Oh, sounds terrible." But he endured and now we have a staff of 6 people that have like slowly gained. They've had staff transition in and out, especially like interns, like are
Mm.
generally temporary
Yeah.
like for 2 to 3 years. But they have two full-time women staff, Monse and Sarah, who came on 3 years ago. And then we have a part-time pastor who used to serve in a local church who now serves in RUF, which is really cool. And then we have two interns. So it's me and then another who's like my guy counterpart so that
Yeah.
I don't have to meet with the freshman guys, which is great.
Yeah. Understood. Understood. Okay. So you're an intern, and so can you speak a little bit to the difference between like intern and full time and kind of what that looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So full time is more like you'll be meeting the focus is freshmen and French students. So I'm
French? Did
most
you say
oh
French?
oh not French. I wish it was I keep mispronouncing whenever I
Oh,
talk to people
fringe.
about this.
Sorry, my bad. Fringe.
Fringe.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me more about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So freshmen and fringe students basically are like I'll look for the people that are either like super new to campus or they're like kind of on the outside of RUF. That could be like juniors, seniors, sophomores, basically anybody who's on the fringes. And it's my job to like chase them down and be like, "Hi, my name's Caroline," and do like the really awkward thing that no one wants to do. That's my job.
Nice.
And it's really fun.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that's kind of the difference is like we have different roles and different kinds of students we interact with. So a staff member would be someone who is doing more like they're like I'm discipling students for like a year and then I pass them off to them. Whereas they like can be discipling students for like 3 years and like kind of guiding them into leadership positions, which I do some of that, but it's like almost exclusively in the second semester of people's freshman year.
Mhm.
And if they're French students and they start to get really involved, I like almost immediately pass them off to like Monse and Sarah.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so that's kind of that's like the a qualitative difference. And then quantitative, like I only will be here for 2 or 3 years. I'm not, we kind of get a choice and like get to talk through what the options are, and I'm not totally sure at this moment what's happening. But
You mean
yeah,
for future wise, like where your sort of destination is pointed?
yes,
Okay.
exactly. So, because a lot of people do the internship to know if they want to be in vocational ministry long term, or if they want to maybe go to seminary to get a counseling degree, or insert here, yeah,
Yeah.
end goal. And there's pretty much we get like so many different kinds of people. Like we get like engineers who are like, I loved RUF and I want to serve for 2 years and then I'm gonna peace out and go be an engineer. And then
Yeah.
we get people like my co-intern who like are like, I want to be a pastor and like go to seminary and have a pastor mentor me for 2 to 3 years before I
Yeah.
do that. And it like, gives you so much like tangible ministry experience before you go to seminary, which is really helpful for most people, I think. And yeah, so the full-time staff obviously stay for longer.
Yeah.
Usually the minimum I think is 5 years, but they're encouraged to stay longer than that. But usually campus staff, I think, are somewhat transient as well, because they're usually younger women that like end up moving somewhere else, like to a different campus or like different life changes and
For
yeah.
sure. For
So
sure. So kind of going back a little bit,
yeah.
um, as far as so like when you're working with these first year, these freshmen or these fringe students, what and it's such a hard thing, and I'm just gonna just kind of see what you say. What is the outcome of y'all's interaction? What's well, and I hate to say but
No, but
sure,
it's real.
what outcome are you looking for? Um,
Yeah. No, I was trying to be thoughtful before this meeting, but I like kind of was thinking about it because I feel like I have to talk like I have to think about all these things all the time, but it really
of
is goals.
course, yeah, yeah,
So I think like there's three things that usually like I'm seeking for to like I don't know. Like when I'm thinking about reaching equipping, these are the three things. Like connecting students to resources, whether that be like RUF or the local church, or like we're opening the Bible, or like they're like insert here resource, like, or maybe they need to go to university counseling and they don't know how to
yeah,
do that. Like
yeah,
I can take them to the grocery store. Like really practical to like really like spiritual. Like it's so wide. Like I've done so many weird things. And then walking alongside them is another big part of like the goal. So like whether that be like suffering or sin, or like they're getting really excited about like a class, like that's a really wide, but that's something that we do. And then thirdly, like connecting them to community. So like the students ministering to students, part of it of like a lot of like there's a girl that just went to Suco. Her second RUF event ever was a week-long conference in Florida. And I was like, why did you do that to yourself? But it went really well.
yeah.
So that's good. But
Do you want to
she
share a
like
little bit about that experience?
yeah, no, it was she did a like I think that's like so much of like connecting students to community is like she just dove into community, and it was really cool because she's struggling with something at the moment and she told me about it, and she had also told this junior like in RUF about it, and I was like you like she like they're super connected now, and like they're like doing like accountability together, and like and I just think that's like one of the coolest parts of this job is like being like, nope, like I'll like check in with her and like make sure she's good. But it's cool to like go watch them. Like that junior is so well equipped. And so I don't have to like I I don't my job got taken, which is good. And so it's mostly those three things, connecting students to resources and then walking alongside them, and then connecting them to community. And a lot of that's done like at coffee shops, which is so weird. Like I am frequent coffee shops every moment of my life. So
Yeah, yeah.
um, But
Awesome.
yeah. Hmm.
So I want to talk a little bit about so now you as an intern, obviously when we support you, it looks a little different than when we support somebody who's overseas.
Yes.
Well, and for many ways. And so like I'm just trying to learn what does I mean, and this is not a loaded question. I just want to
Yeah.
understand or help everybody understand what does like when we send you money, how in what way is that
Yeah.
helpful to your ministry? I mean, like very practically speaking, what does that do for you?
Yeah, no, that's such a great question. A lot of that money goes to like coffee, which sounds really silly, but like it really is so helpful. Or like they're like, yeah, so a lot of that looks like me being like, oh, this person that I've met one time, can I buy you coffee at a
Yeah,
coffee shop and like hear your story of faith? And I really think it goes such a long way to my campus minister, there was a student that like didn't want him to buy her coffee and he was like, this is the gospel. Like I like you're given a free gift and like
yeah,
your responsibility is to like enjoy it. Like and I think that's just so cool. Like it's a picture of the gospel and like makes people feel more comfortable and it's meant to be a hospitable thing.
yeah.
Um, and so that is a lot of the money that I get from people. And then also like funding just there's so many structures to support me like during the internship. And those like take yeah, they take resources. So like I have
Yeah,
to do mandatory counseling, which has been really helpful and really good because I feel like you never really know what you're gonna encounter
yeah,
in ministry and then interns usually have like come like straight from college to this like crazy new like life phase and you're like I'm a college student but I'm an adult and like
yeah,
what do I do with myself and like I'm newly married so like
yeah,
I'm trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
figure out a whole nother
That's a whole
person.
other thing, right?
It's a whole other thing and you're in a new place and you probably don't have friends like and so it's I think or you haven't don't have friends yet but I think it's really helpful to have like so many people that you can contact. Like honestly, like there's some points where people will reach out to me and be like, "How are you doing, Caroline?" And I'm like, I have so many people asking me that question
Yeah.
that like I don't like it's a huge blessing. But that's where a lot of the money goes to. And then like random things like large group snacks like at the end of large group. Or
Well, yeah,
like
tell us a little bit about that. I'm sure you participate in that.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
tell me what that looks like throughout the school year and just kind of like how does what you do fit into that?
Yeah, no, large group is definitely like one of the biggest and we call them like entry points into RUF. Because it's easier depending on who you are to like go to a large group event and be like, I'm just gonna investigate this and hope no one talks to me.
Yeah.
That will not happen to you if you walk into Michigan RUF. You will be talked to,
Yeah.
which is such a great thing. But I think some people are jarred by it the first time they come.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
but they're really great. So basically what happens is like we will worship and Robert preaches and we use it as an opportunity to like share the gospel with students in a way that is fits into like the culture of Michigan. So a lot of it is like could be like their greatest strength and biggest weakness is that they're driven in every area of their life. And so a lot of Robert's sermons are like, how does the gospel give us the freedom to fail? Like
Yeah.
we have freedom to fail and like do we idolize school or like achievement or relationships? A lot of it is engaging the gospel in the campus culture. And then we'll have a time afterwards that like small groups can form and talk about that. Not for very long. And then afterward we'll have like a snack at the end so everyone can kind of stay and like meet new people and the students are really, really good at hunting down new people. I don't think you can't really escape unless you leave early, and even then, it's someone might get you. Like, and so a lot of large group is that of like trying to like rope people in who are on the outskirts and introducing students to each other. Like if I have coffee with a student that like really loves running, and then I know that this other student really loves running, like my job might look like that night I like go into a large group being like, I'm gonna connect Carolina and Catherine, and
Mhm.
like they're gonna meet each other, or I'm going to like introduce Sam to like Corinne and just try to get like the groups to mix and um make sure that people are included and seen, and yeah, that's a lot of what my job is. So,
Very cool. So
mhm,
you're sort of game planning, knowing the people who you know from the various areas and connect and that large group as well as, obviously gospel presentation, but
mhm.
connecting people that will find meaningful relationships there.
Yeah,
Super cool.
it's
Super
really
cool.
fun.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you make it sound fun. Let's say it like that.
It's sometimes not, but most of the time.
Well, that's everything, right? So, big picture as far as like, I mean, just the ministry, just so again, I'm talking as if, or I'm talking to you right now, and I'll ask you some questions, which probably a lot of people know, but let's just
Mhm.
say you're the only video that they click on to say, oh, I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
What does it look like to fund your life as a missionary,
Mhm.
an intern in RUF?
Mhm.
How do you go about that just so
Yeah.
that you can do your job? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, a lot of that looks like monthly donors. As I'm thinking about fundraising, and even like the people that I support, like I have friends fundraising and like other work, which is cool and weird now. But like I think it's monthly donations are super helpful, because like they require less like mental energy to be like, oh, I'm going, like it allows me to be more on campus than like
Finding
emailing,
money.
finding money.
Yeah,
Yes, correct. So I think like I think lump sum donations are very helpful too, because they provide like a base of like if something happens, I know that I have like emergency, like for example, I'm going to London at the end of this month to like do like a leap, like London evangelism and prayer like week there. And
okay,
that's super helpful to have like that base of money because they're going to take a bunch of money out of my account at one time.
sure.
But like monthly donations are super helpful because I'm not as nearly as worried about fundraising this time around because of the generosity of a lot of people that are monthly donors. And it's not huge, like it doesn't have to be huge amounts. Like it can be $15, but
Sure.
it is really helpful to know like I don't have to go find money. Like these people are all donating $15. And so that's like $500 that I don't have to find the
Yeah.
entire school year. Which
Yeah.
is can be a really big deal.
And
Um,
and what I understand is that when you have that sort of peace of mind of that being done, then you can reach more people because you don't have to spend your valuable time or your resource of time to
mhm.
to do that piece of the ministry. You can just go and present the gospel and do the ministering part, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fun to like connect with like the monthly people I feel more connected to sometimes emotionally than like
Sure.
the one time people, because I think those people tend to be the people that are more likely to open my newsletter or
Yeah.
like I'm probably I tend to be closer to those people. I think like only as a, and the usually the people that are closer to me are more likely to be monthly donors. But yeah, it's kind of cool to think about all of the people that it takes to like for me to be there. Like it's
Yeah,
really
for
not
sure.
me doing it. So it's cool.
For sure. So, well, I'm going to talk to you about. Well, I want you to share. Well, if you can think of one, if you can you think of a very meaningful interaction from this year that just somebody might resonate with, or just kind of that
Hmm.
typifies or exemplifies how us supporting you has, helped you in growing and helped further God's kingdom.
Yeah. Mm. There's a lot of stories. I'm trying to think of one that would be particularly helpful. Mm. There's one girl, a freshman girl that is very shy, like painfully shy. And she's so sweet. But she became a Christian basically online by herself in an isolated environment. And I think that's happening more now as like the online like becomes such like Christianity's online, which is like crazy, but
It
it really
is,
does
yeah.
make a difference. Like and so like came into college. None of her family's Christian. They're from China. And like she is like came into RUF, like visiting like the Christian ministries on campus, like to be like, should I like I want to do this maybe because I'm Christian now. And I'm in college, like
Yeah.
and and I have gotten to know her very well like over the past year, and I think like she really struggles mental health wise, and like a lot of the money that like I wouldn't be able to like I've bought her dinner like when she's been really struggling, or um like it's just allowed me to reach out to her in ways like having that bandwidth of like I can use resources
Yeah.
like has helped me reach out to her in ways that are like I think have been really meaningful to her.
Awesome.
Um, and like just kind of the witness of the local church that like there's so many people that are behind me, and like that could be true of her too if she enters into community. Like I think that's really cool of being able to be like am able to do this because like so many people have done this to me, like and supported me and cared for me, and like I want you to experience that like super tangible thing. Like I think it's hard when like you're having mental health crises because like everything kind of feels untangible, and
Yeah.
like being able to be like there's a community that will love and care for you if you are willing to like enter into it,
Yeah.
and like, showing her that through like buying her dinner or like being able to spend time with her is I think has been really meaningful. So, and I wouldn't be able to do that without so many people
Yeah.
behind me and that have poured into me in the past. So,
Yeah. Awesome. So I want to talk, if you can, let us know. I mean, we're pretty far removed from you right now. And
mhm.
I know you're going to visit us in July, and we definitely want to. I mean, I know we didn't give you a super firm answer about, yeah, I'm sure that we will make that happen. We will not turn away somebody who we're supporting and who's obviously doing God's work. If you want to have a meeting, I'm sure that we'll be able to accommodate you.
Well,
If not, I personally will accommodate you. Uh, but I'm sure that we just haven't given you an official answer because we got to talk to the powers that be. Um,
yeah,
However, on the other hand, um, what is some ways that the church, in sort of non-monetary ways too,
yeah,
could be of a support to you?
yeah. Oh, prayer I think is really, really helpful. Like even if you don't know how to pray, just like lifting up the students that are on campus and even praying for like the staff. I think I never have changed, like if anybody is on my newsletter, I've never changed like what my prayer requests are at the end of the newsletter, and it's intentional. Like
Yeah,
like it's not because like there are specific prayer requests, and if anybody ever wants to know specific prayer requests, like feel free to email me. um but like I think really praying for like the hearts of the staff that are on campus, because it's so easy for me to like drift into this like I am going to point them all towards me mindset. And so
yeah,
praying for like our hearts and like our integrity of ministry is really helpful, and praying for students that they would like God would be at work in their hearts, that they would receive the gospel and be in community, because really honestly that's like it's so hard to get a student that's like does not want to be in community into community. That like I feel like is 99% of like my frustration sometimes is
yeah.
like you can do this but you're not.
Yeah,
um
talk a little bit about because I interviewed actually another RUF
mm,
minister, and you know, talk about what the church on their end can do to be
mm,
more welcoming, I guess. Maybe that might be, I know it's not going to apply directly to your ministry, but I think all of us, I mean, all churches can kind of still grow. We need to grow, and the Holy Spirit needs to lead us, and we need to be open to it. But what does that look like? Maybe um, for your kind of student, your freshman in college, what does that look like in those communities that are actually connecting with those people?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I feel like that draws on so much of my personal experience too. Because I feel like, yeah. Um, yeah, I think like when students do come to church or like do come to functions, like I think I sometimes fear to walk up to people and be like, my name is blah blah blah. What's your name? Like, because
Yeah,
that's terrifying. Like that's terrifying. And
right.
so I think like knowing that like if a college student or a young person like has come to church, like that's basically like them being like, okay, I'm okay with what God's doing. Like God's at work in my life and like I'm kind of open, at least kind of. And
Yeah.
so I think like that's a big thing that like anybody I guess can do is like when there is a young person at church, like they are definitely more, it's like the spider is more afraid of you than you are of it. Like for
Mhm.
sure the spider is afraid. Like and so like I get intimidated to walk up and talk to people, but they're usually much more like if they're standing on the edge of the room, it's probably like a good open door and some people just don't know how to talk. And so even if it's super awkward, like they might be like the most thankful person ever and you would never know. Like I feel like that happens to me all the time. People will be like, this meant a lot to me. And I think to myself, I would have never thought that that meant a lot to you because that meant nothing to me. And and yeah, so I think it's a huge thing people can do in the local church is just be ready to receive people. Be ready. Yeah, I feel like people were really ready to receive me in in my college church um and like getting them involved and like having them in your home. Like college students really, really miss being in people's homes. Like they'll always say that whenever they go over to Robert's house. They'll be like, "This is an actual house." Like
Yeah.
and like they don't get to see that as much. Like I guess
Yeah.
if they're a different kind of college cultures, like commuter cultures are a little bit
Yeah.
different than that. Um but yeah, so I think that's a really cool thing people can do practically.
Yeah.
Uh,
So prayer and just setting ourselves up to have our eyes open to see those people, especially
yeah.
those younger age college people,
Mhm.
um, and to be hospitable in our houses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Mm,
makes total sense. If you're living in a dorm or even like a sort of communal apartment, that's not the same as being home or being in a home.
for
So
sure.
very practical advice. Thank you so much. So I think we have about 5 minutes left on our. I have about 5 minutes left on my time here because, um, obviously, judging from this conversation, and it was true the other day. There's so much to talk about. But I'm just so grateful that we've been able to just like have somebody have a to hear you be able to expound and get into some more
Yeah.
details that maybe a pulpit doesn't always afford us. And there's just not enough time to get everybody a coffee, you know,
True.
and the whole
Actually
600
true.
people just can't do it. That not in such a short amount of time. So, um, as you're looking forward to the rest of your time, so this is your first year as an intern, yes, and you're
Mhm.
looking probably 2 more years. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think so.
No
I
pressure.
yes. No pressure. Yeah. I think so. That looks like the trajectory, but we'll
Okay.
confirm in the fall probably. So,
For sure.
yes.
So, and again, I do not mean to put you on the spot as far as
Oh
that's
no.
concerned. Just if you can, maybe, um, and and you've already kind of spoken to it, but just what are you kind of looking at, and what promptings are you looking for from God as you're sort of going through this journey as an intern, and what maybe will affect your choices as you go on past this place.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. Yeah, I would love, I really liked, I've enjoyed counseling and super relevant part of my story and just like being on campus and seeing like there's a need for sure. And I think yeah, definitely something I would love to do in the future, whether that's like 2 years from now or like more down the line than that is like go back to school and get a counseling license. Just think that would be a really cool way for me to engage in ministry, like whether that be part-time or full-time, in some capacity. And then yeah, it's possible that I would continue being with RUF here. like for the rest of the 5 years that like we're here for 5 years total. But uh yeah, who knows? So a lot of praying about that and trying to like determine like I think this job is very fast paced, which is great. So kind of trying to determine like what is my stamina? Like am I able to like keep this up for like a more prolonged amount of time? Because I enjoy it a lot, but the stamina required is I'm always impressed with the long-term campus ministry people because they're getting it for like years.
Yeah.
Um, but
Well, when
yeah,
they have you chasing around freshmen for them, that's helpful.
that is true. So I've been told. They're like, you do the worst part, and I'm like, oh, do I? Um, but yeah, so
Yeah.
and the staff team here is really awesome. So if I did continue, like that is a huge part of like how God is um like if I did stay, for sure, it would be like a lot due to just the support and like they're also different and fun and really care for everybody, each other, and it's a really good work environment. So that is really cool too.
Well, if you had, we got 1 minute now. If we get cut off, I will call you because I want to have a couple follow-ups just real quick. But if you had one message that you would want to send to Christ Church, or anything you want to say to them, uh, what would it be?
Yeah, but thank you so much for allowing me to be on campus. I'm sure that's what you expected, but like it is so meaningful. Like it just allows me to minister to students and like watch God be at work. And like I almost wish I could like record it and like send it back and be like, this is what is happening. Like um and I'm praying for y'all too as you're like getting a new pastor and
Yeah.
that's so exciting. So
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.